Blog Talk Radio.
What do you do when you don't know? Just blow a gospel do-de-o-do. A Hora's evil journey with you. Of all the places on the go. What do you do when you don't know? Just blow a gospel do-de-o-do. A Hora's evil journey with you. Of all the places others won't go.
You're listening to Ask the Unicorn, live with Ahura Z. Deliza, answering all your paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual questions. Call us now at 718-664-9638 to speak with Ahura, or post your questions via chat room on our show page. And now your host, Ahura Z.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ahura Z. You're on the air live with me. This is Ask the Unicorn. This is a place that you can ask all of your metaphysical, paranormal, and mystical questions. If there is something that is concerning you and your spiritual life, also in your metaphysical or paranormal or mystical life, those of you that are magic practitioners, those of you that are practicing the art of manifestation that others call witchcraft or paganism, or any type of mysticism whatsoever, you can ask me your questions and I have your answers. Now, tonight is a very special night. This is a very special week. And why? It is because it is the week before Christmas. And for all of you that don't believe in Christmas, I'm sorry. For all of you that don't think that we should have some type of a holiday, or a holiday, as we all like to say it, I'm sorry. However, I celebrate Christmas. I celebrate every holiday that there is. As a matter of fact, I set out one year to try to celebrate every Jewish holiday that there was, and that only enriched my life. So if I were you all, I would jump into the water and have a good holiday season. Try to do something positive. Try to be positive with other people. Try to instill positivity in other people. And if you can't, just don't say anything. Just, smile and nod. Smile and nod. It'll be fine. So I'm going to open the floor for questions shortly. However, I want to address something. It has come to my attention from a few colleagues of mine that there are tons of people out there that are just finding an opportunity to bully other people, to attack other people for no reason whatsoever, of course, over the Internet. And I think these are some of the biggest cowards that there are. However, I just want to address this and say, listen, if you can't find something good to say about someone, don't say anything. There are a lot of people out there that are just feeling happy to spread negativity here and then. This is not something that we need, particularly at this particular season. We don't need that kind of thing. So if you can't say something good about someone, why don't you just shut up or go mumble to yourself for a while, roll around a little bit. It'll be fine. You'll be all right. But this is a time where people are supposed to be spreading joy, cheer, and positivity. As a matter of fact, you can spread a lot of joy and cheer by, just going up to someone and saying happy holidays, or just saying, I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, or you can even say Merry Christmas, or Happy Kwanzaa, or Happy Hanukkah, however you want to say it. You just do something positive for people. All of this Internet bullying has got to stop. I mean, when I get people that are colleagues of mine that are saying, listen, I'm being attacked by these people or this person, and it's Christmas season. What is wrong with people? I mean, seriously, what is wrong? I mean, is your life so miserable that you have to be the ugliest kid in the room calling everybody else ugly? Just chill out. Allow people to live. And if they put something up on Facebook or they put something up on YouTube, you don't have to do a negative comment just because someone taught you how to type. Just why don't you just leave it alone? You don't have to say negative or stupid things. There are a lot of people out there that are doing negative, stupid things all on their own. They don't need you to help them. Why don't you do something different this year and say, here's my forever resolution. I'm going to monitor myself and try not to say stupid things and offend people just because I have a typewriter or just because I have a computer that I can hide behind, because I know they can't really see me, they can't really do anything to me or even retaliate, so why do that? Just leave it alone. Everyone be positive, and we will all have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season. 2014 is coming up shortly, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people that are just ready, willing, and able to wave bye-bye to 2013. So how about we just make this a wonderful year for all of us? There's some great things that could happen this year, that are about to happen this year. I know that there are a lot of people that just are willing to let things go and just move on. So, and by the way, there are a lot of food pantries and homeless shelters that could use your help. So if you can, try to give something to them. It's really important. We live here in Maine, and in Maine, it's very, very cold, and it's very, very snowy throughout the winter. And I know, well, it snows every winter in Maine. Yeah, I understand that, but that's not the point. It's just I'm hoping that everyone has a warm and safe and dry place to be and has food to eat, good food to eat. And, if they need our help, we should be willing to help them. Okay. Well, look at this. It looks like I have a caller. Before I get to that, you all can say, Kazi, why don't you tell everyone good evening? And I've already told you all good evening. I hope that we get some calls tonight. I hope that we get a lot of questions tonight. For those of you that want to call, the number is 718-664-9638. That is 718-664-9638. I'm going to go ahead and go to the call line right now. This is Elise. Elise, how you doing?
All right. Well, that's one reason why I called. I'm having a bit of a problem right now. I don't know if it's okay to talk about this on the air.
Okay, if it's of a personal nature, that it might not be that great. Okay,
well,
but I will.
Problem that's happening to me right this second, so I need help with it.
Okay.
Should I tell you?
Why not?
Okay, somebody put a choking spell on me. I don't know how to break it.
Okay, are you choking? Are you feeling as though you're being choked?
Yeah. There's a lady downstairs. I know I think she's a sorcerer, and our sink accidentally overflowed, and it dripped down to her floor yesterday, and she got really mad and she started banging on our door, and so we had to call the front office to get them to fix it for her. But then today I don't know, it's like I don't know what's happening with her, but
she's being very angry and you're feeling it.
Well, she's slamming her doors and running around slamming things and banging stuff down there, and I don't know what to do about this.
Okay. Well, if you're in a situation where it could possibly get violent, you know what to do. You call the police. Okay? That's your best bet. Or you call the front office and let them know what's going on. As far as metaphysically or as far as spiritually, you know what to do. You pray for those things to go away. Now, I'm going to give you something a little extra. If you can just light a candle and do your prayer and the prayers that I've given you to do and calm yourself. Okay?
Mhm.
Usually these people are just looking for a way to try to, scare you or frighten you or make you know that they're mad at you. It was an accident and she needs to understand that. So if I were you, I would just take the necessary steps. If you begin to feel threatened, then you know what to do. Call the authorities. This is their job, and they're very, very good at it. If you're feeling threatened on the spiritual level, I've taught you what to do. Use the prayers that I've given you to do, okay? And don't just recite them. Mean them. You know how to do this. Okay?
Okay.
It's all about energy. All this is that you're just picking up her really angry energy. Okay? And whatever she is doing is manifesting itself in the form of you being very, very anxious, and that's causing you to get just a little panicky. Okay? And when that happens, a lot of people will feel as though they're choking or they can't get enough air. Okay? And those are the physical, so just calm yourself, all right?
Okay.
Good. Just calm down. You're fine.
Okay. Then I'll ask you a metaphysical question.
Certainly.
Okay. What's the difference between a telepathic reader and a psychic reader?
Well, the difference between a telepath and a psychic is that the information is always flowing through me, whether or not I'm in the presence of a person, place, or thing, or whether or not I decide that I'm going to read a situation. The information is always pouring through me. I'm like a conduit for information. Okay, so It's about the energy, and it's about knowing what I'm looking at. It's kind of like looking at 12 TVs simultaneously, okay? And I tell people all the time, I have a lot of televisions, and what I mean by that is that there's all of these different televisions, and I can narrow down anything by turning off any of those televisions in order to narrow down the possibilities of what's actually going on until I find the specific thing that is going on. Now, I don't have moments of, there's so much pain, I'm rocking back and forth, or any of those things. This is the way that I've been all my life. And, of course, I met someone that helped me to hone my skills. And now it's just one of those things. It's a permanent thing. With a psychic, there's some very good psychics that are very close to the way that I am. But then what happens is their energy eventually mutates, if you will, and they become something other than what they are, just a psychic. Everybody on the face of this planet is psychic. This is a psychic planet, okay? Yeah. And everyone is psychic to one degree or another. Some of us have a little more, some of us have a little less. But if a person sets out to develop that particular ability, they can increase their level of psychism or their level of intuition, and there are many things that can help that. Now, you get other people that try to disprove this particular type of thing, and there's no way for them to disprove it. They always ask you for physical proof of how verifiable proof how that someone is psychic, and there's no way to really do that. There's absolutely no way. You're about as likely to bring me a cup of the substance of the sun as you are to prove that there's a physical scientific thing to prove that psychism exists. All you have to do is use your mind, and there's proof right there. But of course, you'll have a heck of a time trying to convince people of that. When it comes to being a telepath, it doesn't matter to me whether a person believes or not. I know what I know. And that's the difference between me and a lot of other people, is that I know what I know. I don't just believe something. If I believe something, then I can't really use it. Because remember, belief walks hand in hand with disbelief. And these are the things that need to be addressed when you're talking about the difference between psychism and telepathy. My particular brand, or what it is that I do, is just a mutated form of psychism. In other words, I mutated somewhere along the way and became an X-Man. You can kind of look at it that way. But there are people that are capable of doing that. I just hit the ground this way. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what medium that I use, and there are people that use all kinds of things, such as objects. I really don't need those things, but I use them to help illustrate what it is I'm talking about, because you'll be amazed. I'll do a reading for people and be spot on, doing everything for them, and they can't understand how it could be absolutely so accurate, and then they'll turn around and ask me to draw a tarot card. It's just kind of funny that way. I can also tell whether or not someone else can see. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, I also have the ability to stop a person from emanating psychic energy at another person. That's being a psychic policeman is what that is. And, it doesn't harm anybody. What it does is just stops that person from being able to hurt someone else. So this is why I'm telling you've got to calm yourself. I know this person is running around slamming doors and doing everything that they possibly can do to annoy you, but you got to look at it like that really doesn't matter. If I feel like this person, if you feel like this person is going to physically threaten you, you know what to do. That's why they have physical police. If you're feeling as though this person is actually a legitimate witch or sorcerer, which is extremely rare, okay, and they are focusing this particular amount of energy on you that it causes things to happen, that's when you call someone like myself, like you did, and I can explain things to you. This is the thing about being a telepath. When there is a problem, not only the problem is revealed, but the information and the way to remedy the problem is also revealed. So if someone talks to you and they say, well, this is a problem, and, they're giving you tales of doom and gloom and they can't offer you a solution, the best thing for you to do is just walk away from them. Because the way that the universe works is it's not just one-sided. If there's a problem, there's a solution.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
So you have to kind of look at things that way. And if you stay in that way, you'll stay out of the emotional arena and you'll use logic. Okay. And logic is pretty much the absence of emotional reaction. You'll be able to think. okay? The moment that you become emotional about something, it causes you to just react and stay there, okay?
Oh, okay.
When you, and that's when you usually get the anxiety and, all the other stuff, the stress and so forth and so forth. However, if you take responsibility for what it is that you are feeling or seeing, you'll be able to respond. Not just have your reaction, but you'll have your reaction and you'll move on, which basically is a response. Everything in your life is going to be reaction and response, no matter what. Then you're operating in the realm of logic. Okay?
Oh,
it's kind of like,
okay.
you ever watch one of the movies, the horror movies, where you see the person, instead of running, they just kind of stand there, when they get scared? That's an emotional reaction, okay? They panic. But you see the other person that sees something happening, and, you don't even have to tell them to run. They are gone. Okay? That's called a logical response. Okay, and that's kind of what you want to have. So I want you to really, think about things before you emotionally react. Don't get scared. Remember, you're a child of God. You and I both know that, right?
Right.
And being a child of God, then what is there to fear from humans?
There's nothing to fear. It's just, I guess fear is false evidence appearing real, right?
Well, yeah, that's what it is. It's an illusion. You can make a choice to be afraid or not to be afraid. Just make your choice and then try to move on. You'll be okay.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Not a problem, Elise. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for calling in.
Okay, yeah, it's really great to call in, yeah.
Okay, night-night.
Good night.
Okay. We are going to take a short break just for a moment, and I'm going to play a small song for you all. And this is a song that I actually did for Christmas, and I hope you all like it. This particular song is called The Little Drummer Boy, and it's something it's a song that's very, very special to me and has been all my life. I did a recording of it, and it's a version, and I hope that you all like it. And if you do like it, it is, like all of our songs, available for download on Unicorn One Records. Now, when you go to the Unicorn One Records, remember it's the number one, Unicorn number one Records. And that's www.unicornonerecords.com. And you can download all of the songs that you hear on this show. So, Little Drummer Boy.
Come, they told me, pa-ra-pa-bum-bum, a newborn king to see, pa-ra-pa-bum-bum, our finest gifts we bring, pa-ra-pa-bum-bum, lay before the king, pa-ra-pa-bum-bum, ra-pa-bum-bum, ra-pa-bum-bum. So to honor him, pa-ra-pa-bum-bum, when we come, bum played my drum for him, pa-ra-pa-bum-bum. I played my best for him, pa-ra-pa-bum-bum, ra-pa-bum-bum, ra-pa-bum-bum. Then he smiled at me, pa-ra-pa-bum-bum. Me and my drum.
Okay, that was the Little Drummer Boy. I hope you all enjoyed that. We're going to go to some of the questions that we have now, and Kazi's going to ask a question.
What is a telepathic reading with you like? How would you describe what you do to someone who is interested but afraid of being told something scary, like something awful is going to happen to themselves or someone they love?
I don't do that. First off, I think that's one of the most tragic things that a person that is giving a reading can do, is to scare the person that they're doing the reading for. I don't appreciate that at all. I know that you all don't appreciate that, so no, I don't do that. Like I said before, if there's a problem that comes up in your readings, I will give you a very quick and tidy solution. And, you know, I won't say certain things. Remember, I'm doing a reading for a person, so I have to be the universe's diplomat. If you're a diplomat, you don't go and say really bad things to a person to cause them harm. Because even telling a person really scary things can cause them to be really paranoid, and you've defeated your purpose. You know, so the best thing for you to do is to find a way to, instead of, you know, telling them something like, hey, your arm is going to fall off and is going to be eaten by dogs and pooped out in the shower or whatever, you have to find a way to guide them away from that particular scenario and put them in the solution, which is this is what you need to do. Okay, so you can eradicate all of that fear and all of that paranoia just simply by, you know, guiding the person in a different direction. You know, you don't even say things like "don't step there." you guide them so that they don't step there. That's the job of a person that is being a navigator or a telepath or a psychic, and pretty much that's what I do. I always tell people I'm kind of like a farmer. I shoot straight from the hip. These very simple things. You know, I'm not going to use a bunch of fancy platitudes in order to do a reading for a person because it doesn't help them. You know, what good does it do to tell a person something like there's snow on the mountain and you mean something entirely different? Of course there's snow on the mountains. We live in Maine. There's snow on everything. You know, so you have to find – I always find a way to deal with a person diplomatically. You know, and that always works. I don't want anyone to be afraid of trying something new. I know that there are people out there that, you know, like to pull people aside on the road and say things like there's a dark cloud that's following you, there's something that's interfering with this, and there's a curse that's looming over your head, and so forth. I'm not that type of person, you know. I'm the type of person that doesn't really like trouble, so I'm not about to start trouble in another person's life. You know, so that's what I can offer that person. I can offer them a stress-free reading, okay, or a stress-free telepathic counseling. You know, if they're already seeking guidance, why do I want to put something else on their head? You know, so I hope that draws a clear picture for you. So if you're getting a reading from me, you really have nothing to fear. I'm going to make this particular reading as fearless and as safe as possible for you. And by the time we are done, you will have a positive direction to go in your life. Okay, what's your next question?
Where there is all these weird chemicals and additives in food nowadays, and some of them are unlabeled, is there a way to metaphysically tell what is safe to eat and what is not?
Well, what you're asking me, is there a way that you can use your intuition to determine whether or not something is good for you? Most of us already have that. Our bodies have this built-in poison detector to a degree. It's just that we have become so stubborn that we really don't listen to it. You know what is good for you and what's not good for you. Okay? We appreciate things that taste really, really good, but, you know, the best thing for you to do is to use your common sense. If you're unsure of something, read what's in the food, okay? And they have to post things on the ingredients label of the food. So if I were you all, I would take a moment and just start reading labels. For instance, I have learned that most of the foods that are out there that are packaged that say that they're healthy choice, they're good for you, this is healthy, this is organic, this is that, this is, you know, you have to do this, there's the Atkins, all of that stuff, and all of these other things are like poisoning us. You know, they cause people to eat up to 10 times more salt than you need. You know, and that's kind of slowly poisoning you. You know, so if I were you all, I'd start reading labels. You know, I picked up this one thing that had a little, I think it was a cookie, and it had like 500 milligrams of sodium for one freaking cookie. Now, I understand that you use certain things in baking. I get that. But you don't need that much salt in anything. Okay? Put salt in candy? I still don't know. I think it's the most ridiculous thing ever. But they do. So you've really got to start using your mind, you know, start using your common sense and read these labels, you know. There's all of these ingredients that they try to pass off, and they've gotten us used to having so much salt in our diet and telling us, well, it's a preservative. Yeah, back when we were sailing the 7 seas to get from one place to another, now there's other ways to keep food. And now people are growing their food. You know, so there's no need for you to eat these things that have all of that salt in them or have all of that grease in it. What they did was a bait and switch. They got everybody interested in calories, and everybody's interested in cholesterol. Meantime, they're slowly poisoning themselves with all of this salt. You don't need that much salt. You really don't. And there's absolutely no freaking reason to put salt in frosting. You know, it's just ridiculous. It's just a ploy. So you've really got to start educating yourself. That is the best way for you to do it. Understand something about metaphysics. One of the first steps of metaphysics is common sense. It's not something that, you know, you consult the bones for. It's really simple. You know, you use your common sense, and that's going to be your best bet in making sure that you're covered. Then, once we have covered all of the ground, the physical, then we can move up into meta, which is greater than physical. Okay? So you kind of have to use them all. That's the best answer that I can give to you. Remember, the first step of spirituality is reality. Remember that. We live in a third-dimensional reality. Now, if you can figure out a way to metaphysically feed yourself, in other words, you can figure out a way to just draw sustenance from food but by looking at it, that would be wonderful. But you have to feed this physical body. So be careful what you eat. I know that there are a lot of people out there that are very, very stubborn. I've been stubborn too, and I wound up being like 332 pounds, you know. I'm a very cool 234 and a half pounds, and I'm very proud of that. But, you know, the main thing is that I had to stop eating all of that poison. And I'm a much better person for it, and I think that you will be a much better person for it too. So please, read your labels. Think about what your body likes and what it doesn't like. Yeah, and I know a lot of you just said, well, my body really likes chocolate. I get that. But think about, you can have your chocolate, but you just don't have to eat as much as you normally do. You can maybe even have a piece of pizza once in a while. Don't eat the whole freaking pizza, okay? You know, and if you know that you're not going to do good, you know that you're not going to do good by eating certain things, don't go and risk it. Don't go and say, well, you know, I can have a little bit of this. Because, you know, if you don't have one of those gauges that says, yes, I am capable of having a little bit of something, then it doesn't do you any good to tell yourself, I can have a little bit of this, because you know you don't. You can't. I mean, what, you're going to tell you, yeah, I'll only have one small handful of M&Ms, and then the 2-pound bag is gone? I mean, if you know that, don't do it. That's the best thing that you can do. And yes, there are a lot of chemicals out there that we have gotten used to. A lot of things out there that have circumvented our health. And you know something? It's time for people to become more aware. I know there are people out there that say, well, I only eat raw food. And there are other people that call themselves, there's a vegetarian. I, learned that there's a fruitarian, which is okay. That's fine. But then again, you got to look for some other things. So be careful what you eat. I hope I'm not making you paranoid about anything, because that's the last thing you want to start thinking about is just going to make me sick. The best thing for you to do is just read your labels. If you know that there's something that you don't do well with, for instance, if you know that cheese really loves your waist because it loves to stay there, I suggest for you not to eat so much cheese. We as adult human beings don't need things like milk. We don't. I don't care what anybody tells you. There's certain things we need and certain things we don't. How about instead of having all of the Mountain Dew, why don't you just have a really good glass of water and then have some Mountain Dew, if that's what you feel like you need. Don't punish yourself, just think. And metaphysically speaking, that is one of the best answers that I can give you. Think about what you're eating and whether or not it's going to do well with you. Don't eat it because someone else said to, and don't not eat it because someone else said to. You think and get to know your own body. But don't, sit and eat Twinkies all the time and then tell me you have a weight problem. You don't have a weight problem. You have a Twinkie problem. So drop the Twinkie, turn around, walk away from it, have a piece of fruit. I know it's going to be hard, but you can do it. I know you can. I hope that helps you. Okay, what have we got next?
Next question is from the chat room. Arlisha Valentine asks, can you explain alchemy?
Alchemy is the art of, there's three things that alchemy entails. There's transubstantiation, transmutation, and transformation. Okay? It is making one substance become another, or changing one substance to another, transmutation. Okay, you're taking, it used to be the simplest explanation that you can give a person is, it's kind of like the art of changing lead to gold, but there's a lot that is entailed in it. You use certain rituals, you use certain chemical transformations, you cause an alchemical reaction, hence the term alchemy. That's mostly, it turned into earth magic. It's probably more on the side of science than it is actual magic, okay? But magic can be employed in an alchemical plan. In other words, there are some people that understand that, there's not just the alchemical reaction, there's also the transmutation from etheric energy or elemental energy into solid form, and that is the part that we know, we metaphysicians know as alchemy. You take something that essentially you don't really see and bring it into form, and that can be even things you do see. That can be using any of the elements: earth, fire, water, wind, electricity. I know that there are a lot of people that like to believe that the fifth element that they call spirit or akasha or love, but the truth is that those are principles and those are attributes. Those are not elements. And the element is really, really simple. The fifth element is electricity. Beyond that, there are other elements. I find it kind of funny that we only go up to 5, or people only want to know about 5 of them when there's so many. But that is a very physical thing. It is taking one substance and transmuting it into another substance, or transforming it into another substance, the term alchemy. Now, I know that in the sci-fi world, alchemy means something entirely different, and in the metaphysical world, it means all of the above. You can use certain magics. You can infuse certain objects with a spiritual energy or a mystical energy or an etheric or elemental energy and cause them to do certain things. That is a long and arduous process. I have been well trained in the art of alchemy, the divine science of alchemy, if you will. And it takes a lot of involvement. It's not something that you just go to a club and learn overnight. You have to actually, if you're going to take on the alchemical path, then you really have to be serious about it, because you can also cause things to catch fire, blow up, burn, get electrocuted, so forth. So you really need to be well versed. And we actually get trained a little bit in alchemy. One of the first things that we learn in life science in high school is the periodic table of elements. All of these things come into play if you're going to be an alchemist. Believe it or not, it's not just about waving your hands in the air and saying certain things into the air. It's about the physical practice. So that's very, very important. So you might say it's a perfect union of spiritual and physical practice to cause change, and hence metaphysics. So I hope that helps you out. If you'd like to know more, I do teach classes, and I'd be more than happy to teach you. If you're going to take on an alchemical class, understand there are a lot of things that are needed. There are a lot of physical things that are needed, and there's a lot of time that goes into it. So if you can, do as much research as possible. And if you're ready to take classes, you know where to reach me. That is unicorn-cove.com, www.unicorn-cove.com. Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics is where I teach, and Ask the Unicorn is where I answer questions. Okay, let's see. I hope that helps you. Thank you for your questions, Arlisha. So what else do we have here?
I sense something in my apartment, and I'm not entirely sure if it's dark or not. Things keep on going missing, and my 1-year-old daughter has recently suffered night terrors. Is there a way to determine if this is dangerous? How can I make sure my daughter is safe? And that is from Cheyenne on Facebook.
Okay, you've already answered your question. If your daughter is having night terrors, that should already tell you that it's a malevolent spirit. Okay, whatever it is, a malevolent energy. Okay, if your daughter didn't have night terrors before, something's obviously scaring her. So you already know that it's dark. You need to learn how to protect yourself and your daughter. And one of the ways that I tell people that if you're feeling as though you're under attack and you don't feel like you can handle it yourself, you need to find someone that can come in and help you out. Okay, and that is a person like myself that can come in and just cleanse the energy. Or a person, there are people that like to hire paranormal investigators that come in and do their investigation to let you know whether or not they believe that there's something there. I don't have to do that. I know whether or not something's there. But they come in with their equipment, and hopefully their equipment makes you feel a little more comfortable. One of the best groups that I have seen that actually really want to do and help people is the East Coast Ghost Trackers. And I've worked with them before. And they are very good at what they do, and they're also no nonsense. Okay, there are a lot of people out there that are little clubs and group of college kids that think that just because they have a trust fund that makes them, or in a camera, that makes them a paranormal investigator. A paranormal investigator is someone who is serious about their work. They don't go in trying to joke and jive. They go in and do the job and let you know what they know. And if they know that something is out of their league, they usually call someone that is an expert in that field of removing energy, like myself or colleagues of mine. So that's one way. Now, another way, if you can't really do that right away, why don't you light yourself a white candle, and there's a psalm in the Bible. Now, for those of you that don't like the Bible tough, okay, there are some things that are in the Bible that are very, very valid and very, very true. And you have to kind of depend on that. There are many, many holy books, and this is one of them. And you can go to Psalms 91. You read that out loud 3 times. Now, if there's any activity, you'll see it. It'll begin to show itself. You'll not only see it, you'll feel it. You'll still be safe because, remember, you're the one that's reciting the psalm. You're lighting the candle that cuts down on astral energies. Just make sure that that candle is a white candle and that it is unscented and doesn't have any pictures on it, okay? And then call someone that is an expert in this field. Now, there will be people that will try to tell you that it is your imagination. Don't listen to those people. They have absolutely no clue what they're talking about, and so you call someone that knows what they're doing, and they can come in and help you out. And there are a lot of groups now even here in Maine. For a while I was one of a very, very small minority of people that were capable of dealing with such things. But there are some groups, and I'm sure they'll be more than willing to help you out. Okay, and I'll be more than willing to help you out as well. If you'd like to set up an appointment that you can actually speak with me, and I can counsel you on what it is that needs to be done. And if you're local and I can get there, I will help you. Okay? And for those of you that don't know, you can reach me at Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics. The number is 207-207-347-5686. Again, that is 207-347-5686. And we're open from Tuesday to Saturday, 10 to 4. And if it's an emergency, you just leave a message. And if I don't get to you right away, don't worry about it. I promise you I will return your call, so long as there is a message that's left. And I'll help you out as soon as possible. All right, there's someone on the phone. This is Sherry, so I'm going to bring Sherry in. And how are you, Sherry?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. What can I do for you this evening?
I had a dream.
Okay.
About an it was an earthquake.
Okay, you know the rules. I don't answer any questions that have to do with the death of anybody or whether or not someone's husband is cheating on them.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. There was an earthquake, and I was waiting for it to happen.
Okay.
Like, I knew it was coming, and then it came, and it stopped right in front of me. Like, the crack stopped right in front of where I was with other people.
Okay. You're there's going to be a shakeup at your job.
Oh.
But
okay.
You'll be safe. It stopped short of you, so you're fine.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. I'm sure that you kind of came to that conclusion yourself.
Well, no, it had nothing to do with the shakeup. Had nothing to do with me.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's what it is. There's a shakeup that's happening. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
No, it makes sense now that you say that. So.
Yeah. So just keep your head low and keep moving.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan. All right.
Good to hear from you. You have a good night.
I will. You too. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Okay. That was Sherry, and Sherry is someone who's developing herself psychically, and she's pretty good. She's getting better. Okay, now, as I was saying earlier, if you need help with any type of paranormal investigation, or you need to make sure that your family is safe, I can help you out. If something is hurting you, if something is hurting or harming you, I can also help you out in that particular area. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to think you're crazy. I'll ask you some simple questions. They won't be hard to answer. And if we determine whether or not there's a malevolent energy, I will send investigators there to do an investigative workout to get your interview and all that good stuff. And then once we have determined that there is an energy, I will get rid of it for you. Okay? Now, once I get rid of it, it's up to you to keep it gone. Okay? My job is simple. Get rid of the criminal. I'm a little different from the conventional land police, but our jobs are the same. You get rid of the criminals. You make sure that the people are safe. But then it's up to you to keep the criminals gone. And I will give you a very easy set of rules to follow. And in this particular time, remember tonight we're at a full moon, if I'm correct, and that full moon doesn't necessarily bring more paranormal events, but what it does is just kind of highlights them. I think that many people played a trick. Most of the psychic emanations that there are actually happen during the new moon, but the full moon kind of illumines things and makes it easier for most people to see, and it heightens everybody else's awareness. Remember what I told you earlier, this is a psychic planet, and it being a psychic planet basically means that everybody has some level of intuition and psychism, and on full moons, it kind of elevates itself. So, what I'm going to do right at the moment is take a station break just so that you all can get some additional information, and I will be back shortly. I'll also play a song. This particular song is by Pisces Project, and it is a battle song. But for right now, I'm just going to take the station break. You're on the air live with Ahura Z. This is Ask the Unicorn.
You're listening to Ask the Unicorn with Ahura Z. DeLisa, answering all your paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual questions. Call us now at 718-664-9638 to speak with Ahura, or post your questions via chat room on our show page. If you have an issue you'd like to discuss with Ahura in more detail, he offers telepathic readings and spiritual counseling by phone and Skype. Ahura also teaches private classes online using Skype video. For more information, visit Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics at www.unicorn-cove.com. And now back to Ask the Unicorn.
Then wash your hands, feet, and
Hand on your heart, considered a shield. Resolve in your mind, your fear you won't yield. Speak this 3 times and surrender to sleep. Knowing the goddess will take your dreams.
And earth to my delight, shield and protect me against the night. The dark creatures away from me, cause the night sickness to flee, flee. Circle of fire now answer my call. From the dark thoughts never cross the wall. Angels and cats all around my room, protect my dreams from impending doom. Father of heartbeat, mother of breath, all aggression away from my breath. Nothing but angels now cover my head. The dark night there away from my head. Shed your light now to make me clean. I know demons that were called tragedy. Now do I thank you for setting me free. Give my allegiance to thee, thee.
If memory serves you, then recite from your gift. If not, then let what is written here be as if from your own lips.
Master the spell, then make it as yours. Feel children this peace to bar the mare from your doors. Again and again can be used anytime to banish nightmares and to use TV blind.
And earth to my delight, shield and protect me against the night. The dark creatures away from me, cause the night visions to flee, flee. Circle of fire now answer my call. From the dark thoughts that would cause me to fall. Angels and cats all around my room, protect my dreams from impending doom. Father of heartbeat, mother of breath, all aggression away from my breath. Nothing but angels now cover my head. In the dark night bear away from my head. Shed your light now to make me clean. Blind those demons that would cause tragedy. Now do I thank you for setting me free. And give my allegiance to thee, thee. Heaven and earth to my delight. Shield and protect me against the night. Keep the dark creatures away from me. Cause the night visions to flee, flee. Circle of fire now answer my call. When the dark thoughts that would cause me to fall. Angels and cats all around my room, protect my dreams from impending doom. Father of heartbeat, mother of breath, all aggression away from my breath. Nothing but angels now cover my head. In the dark night there away from my head. Shed your light now to make me clean. Find those demons that would cause tragedy. Now do I thank you for setting me free. Give my allegiance to thee, thee.
Okay, I hope you all liked that song. That was the Anti-Nightmare Spell. And what I did, that's part of an album that's by Pisces Project, and that's part of an album that is a book of spells, pretty much, or a book of ceremonies to ward off negativity and to bring good things into your life. The first song is a spiritual battle song, and it is called Battle Song, and that's by Pisces Project as well. If you like the music, you can download it. And the way that I've done this music is it works by itself. Now, for those of you that are under some form of psychic attack, listen, you can learn that anti-nightmare spell. You can also play Battle Song in your home, and it will get rid of those negative vibrations for you. Okay, so you can go to Unicorn One Records, and remember, that's Unicorn, the number 1 Records, and download this music and any other of the songs that you hear on this particular show. All right, now we're going to get back to some questions. I have one more question here. What is that?
Going back to the previous question you answered, what do you mean that it is up to a person to keep the criminals gone? How does one do that?
Follow instructions. Okay, if I give you a set of rules to make sure that, or myself or any other person that is an exorcist or a energy cleanser gives you a set of instructions to keep your house sane, don't compromise those instructions. If I tell you, listen, you can't allow this type of a person into your home, you have to make sure that this is done, you can't do this in your home anymore, or else these vibrations will come back, doesn't mean for you to test me. You know, I know what I'm doing. You came to me for help. Okay, so since I know what I'm doing, I am also going to know what to do to make sure that it stays out of your home. And I've done this many, many times. I've told people many, many times, listen, you can't have any more, of this in this place. You can't do this, and you can't do this. Make sure that this is being done, this, and this is being done. And then it's up to that person to follow those simple instructions. I don't give anyone anything too hard to do. I'm not going to ask you to move a building brick by brick. I'm not going to ask you to pull teeth. I'm very simply, you can't have certain elements enter into your home anymore. For instance, I got rid of a very contentious spirit in a home, a spirit that was helping someone to actually split apart. I got rid of that, and I laid down some very simple ground rules. Among those ground rules were, listen, everyone has disagreements, but if you got to disagree, don't argue here. Okay? Walk out of here before you actually do anything. Don't go to bed angry, angry at your mate, and then think that you're going to have a great morning. It's not going to work that way. And I know that people play, really vicious games with each other, like holding on to certain things and making sure that the person doesn't have any peace, knowing that that you're mad at them. That's just a big game, And I caution people against such actions. Now, if you go ahead and play that game and it breaks down those things that have been set to keep negativity out, that's your own fault. Because I know that many times my colleagues have been called and the person says, well, it went away for a minute, but then it came back, and I walk in and there's like contention all over the place. It's not that it didn't work. It's just that you broke down the barriers that were meant to protect you. It's kind of like, okay, I just bandaged you up because your arm got cut off, and you decided to take the bandage off and tug at the suture or tug at the stitches. It's kind of like that. Things are common sense. If there is a psychic criminal that has been expunged from your home, you don't invite it back under some pretense of closure. If there's a very negative person that was in your home and you finally got that negative person out, you don't invite them back, give them another chance to spread their negativity. I don't care what the circumstance is. It's very simple. That's what I mean by that. Once I have gotten rid of something for you, follow the rules. They're very easy to follow, and that thing won't come back again. If it does come back, I know you didn't follow something. And that doesn't take a rocket scientist. It doesn't even take a telepath. It just takes a person who knows basic nature. I have drugged so many people out of the halls of hell, and they go flying back in under some excuse, and then expect me to do it again. No, I can't do it. If I do it once for you, and you decide to break things down, I know you had absolutely no respect for what it was that I said, so I'm not going to risk my life again. Nor will I risk the lives of my teams or colleagues. So you really have to think about things. If you want something gone, mean it. If you don't want it gone, don't call me, because it's going to go. If you get mad at an energy in your home and you decide, oh, I don't want this energy anymore, I want it gone, and then you call a person like myself, that energy is going. It's gone. It's going to go, okay? So don't call me unless you really mean it, because I won't do it for you again. For instance, if I have to perform an exorcism on someone and I get rid of the entity that has been plaguing them, I tell them, you can't be found around these people anymore. No, you cannot go into this place anymore. No, you don't get to do this drug anymore. No, you don't get to have that much to drink anymore. Okay, I set a number of rules. It's no different for if you were dealing with a police officer or a probation officer, and that probation officer says to you, you can't be found here, 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 or here. If you get found here, 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 or here, you're going back to jail. It's no difference. So you really have to think about it. If you don't start, there's an old saying, don't start no mess, won't be none. Really simple. Just don't do the things that got you to the place that you were before. Don't think that just because you're different and you have some level of protection, you're supposed to test it. It's really quite simple. All right, what have we got next? I hope that helps you. What have we got next?
What is a psychic criminal exactly, and how do you know if you have one?
I think I've already explained that about 10 minutes ago. A psychic criminal is someone that, or something, or some energy that decides that it wants to do you harm. The same as a physical criminal. okay? Or some people who are physical that want to impose their will on you, want to harm or hurt you, or cause you harm or hurt. That is a psychic criminal. Someone who tries to take your free will away, that is a psychic criminal. Someone who constantly has nothing but negative things to say, that is a psychic criminal. Someone who does nothing but destroy the lifestyles of anyone else just because they want to do it. Bullies are psychic criminals. Abusers are psychic criminals. I can go on with this particular list. Basically, someone who wants to disturb the peace for no reason at all, just because they feel like they need to vaunt themselves to do it. That is a psychic criminal, whether they be physical or non-physical. Mostly the ones that I deal with are non-physical. Yes, I have had to deal with people physical, understanding that they just may be a jerk. You know, other times it could be because something has been impressed upon them that causes them to do something. But more times than not, that person usually has a behavioral problem, and behavioral modification is in order. Okay? When it comes to those that are non-tangible, they could be frightened, they could be angry, they could be vindictive or vengeful, they could just stumble into things, they could be experimenting. Remember, just because a person is a spirit now, they no longer have a body, doesn't mean that they're not willing to experiment with things. Consciousness is one of those things that stay. You know, so you really have to keep your eyes open for such things, and I do. Yes, I do talk to spirits from time to time. No, I do not allow them in me. No, I don't prefer mediumship. I can just see them, and because I can see them and know the difference between a ghost and a spirit, I can talk to the ones that are actual spirits. Those that are ghosts, I really do nothing with. I just try to cut down the astral emanation enough for people to feel safe. A ghost is a ghost. Eventually that energy is going to dissipate. It may take years, but it will dissipate. A spirit is something that can be dealt with immediately. And these things are very, very true. And there are all kinds of spirits, not just people. You don't have to go ghost hunting because there are ghosts all over the place. You don't have to go spirit chasing because more than likely they will probably chase you and catch you. So you don't put yourself in situations where you go out trying to challenge a ghost because that's what you saw that guy with the Astro Boy haircut do on TV. They're wrong, and they know that they're wrong. However, they're playing with fire, and eventually they'll get burned. So the best thing for you to understand is that the metaphysical world is not a good place to play, nor is the spiritual or psychic world. All in all, there are very safe ways to deal with the metaphysical world and the psychic world, and I suggest that all of you do exactly that. For those of you that find yourself in a bind, you know how to reach me. You know, you can call me. That is 207-347-5686, or you can reach me at Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics, or that's www.unicorn-cove.com. You can also reach me at Unicorn Rangers. That is www.unicornrangers.org. You can find me on Facebook, www.facebook.com/AhuraZ. Okay? Or you can attend the show and I'll answer your questions. You can do all of this. Okay, let's see. What have we got now? Are there more questions?
Next question is from our chat room. I have seen a Native American chief in my third eye lately. Do our spirit guides often communicate this way?
Yes, they do. They do communicate that way, and they communicate in other ways. If you are aware of your third eye, then you're aware that that is actually a spirit guide, and that it can help you. And understand something. I know that there are a lot of clubs out there that think that just because something is Native American, then that makes it a chief, and that makes it a shaman, and that makes it a spirit guide. If you know that that is a spirit guide for you, then you really don't have to ask that. It'll make itself apparent. They do show themselves that way. On the other end, just make sure that you're not seeing a spirit, that it happens to be the spirit of a Native American person just minding its own business. You know, so you really have to think about these things. True, if you know that you have a spirit guide, then at least heed that spirit guide. Listen to that spirit guide. Make yourself even more aware of that spirit guide. Now, if it comes to a point where there's an astral entity that is posing as a spirit guide and it starts to do you harm, you need to report it. And you need to report it to someone like myself. Okay? That way we can help you get out of that particular relationship, because people do form relationships with things like this, and they oftentimes find themselves in a bind. There are so many different spirit guides, and you should hope that this is a legitimate spirit guide that is willing to help you and bring you the benefits of life that you deserve. And you'll find that when they do, one of the keys that you can look for is there's always something that involves common sense, no matter what it is. It is always something that involves common sense. For instance, your spirit guide is not about to tell you to go bungee jumping. Okay? So if something told you, hey, do a bungee jump and only attach one of your feet, that is not a spirit guide. Okay, now if that spirit guide tells you, listen, you need to be able to hold on to this job, so if I were you, I'd just keep my head low, shut my mouth, and do my work and smile and nod. Okay? That is more likely the information coming from a spirit guide. Okay? So I hope that helps you. What have you got next? All right. It looks like everyone has asked their questions for this evening, and that's good. That's fine. This particular show, Ask the Unicorn, goes on sometimes for an hour, sometimes for 2 hours, sometimes for an hour and a half. I will be on as long as there are questions to ask. For those of you that have questions but don't know how to formulate them and it takes you a little longer, I might suggest that you write down your questions during the week. That way you have them when you're here. For those of you that have attended the show tonight, thank you for listening to Ask the Unicorn. We enjoy your presence. I enjoy doing this show. For those of you that would like to make donations to Ask the Unicorn, you can make the donations by visiting the Ask the Unicorn site, and that is www.asktheunicorn.com, and you can hit the donations button and make a donation so that I can keep doing the show and bring you more things. And eventually I would like to be able to do things like interview people and have guests come into the show. There are several paranormal groups that I would like to have come into the show so that you can all ask them questions as well. And there are several people that are out there doing films and doing music and involved in community work that I would like to interview on the show, as well as have you asking questions of me. Remember, this is Christmas time. Just be celebratory. It doesn't matter if you agree with Christmas a lot or not. Just be celebratory of this particular time, because it's a time where people are trying to feel positive about things. Help them feel positive about things. Say happy holidays. You don't have to say Merry Christmas, but I'll say that to you. Merry Christmas to all. And you don't have to acknowledge that, but you can, and those of you that would like to call it Yule, say Happy Yule, okay? Or just say blessed be to someone. Say something positive. Make it a goal to say some positive things throughout this particular season. And let's all meet the next year with positivity and joy and great expectation of positivity. All right. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Uhura Z. This is Ask the Unicorn. I will see you all, or hear you all, next week. Have a pleasant evening.
You've been listening to Ask the Unicorn with Uhura Z. DeLiza. If you have a personal matter you need help with, Uhura offers telepathic readings and spiritual counseling by phone and Skype. He also teaches private classes in an array of subjects online using Skype video. Visit Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics for more information at www.unicorn-cove.com. If you have a question for Uhura to answer on a future episode of Ask the Unicorn, you can email it to questions@asktheunicorn.com, and we'll add it to the list for our next show. Ask the Unicorn broadcasts live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time on Blog Talk Radio. Visit our website for more information and to hear archived episodes of our show at www.asktheunicorn.com.
When you don't know, just go and ask for do-de-o-do. Uhura Z will places others won't go. What do we do? That's what you don't know. Just go with us for the Odo. Oh, for a journey with you. All the places others won't go.